السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, today it is Sunday the 13th of Dhul-Q'adah 1446, matching the 11th of May 2025. This is session number 65, going through this book, الصلاة مفتاح النجاة, prayer the key to salvation. Today's topic is كيف يتطهر المريض ويصلي, how the sick person would purify himself and pray. This is an important subject, as many people when they get sick, they may not do the salah properly, or they might think even that, oh, they are excused, they can pray the prayers later on, they put them together at the end of the day, or oh, I don't have wudu, oh, I did not clean myself properly, so I cannot pray. So they go on without prayer sometimes for days, right? So big mistakes they commit. This is basically a small treatise, a booklet that the Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala wrote, and the Sheikh Ahmad المزيد in this book, he included it in this work. So, and he put in the footnote that it is there, لفضيلة الشيخ محمد بن صالح al-Uthaymin. It is widespread, you find it in different places, and also there is a beautiful, in Arabic, somebody read it in audio. So it's available in audio, different places. One of them is islamway.com. They have this, they have it read in Arabic. Hopefully maybe someone will read it in English too. Or like we do now, we'll have both Arabic and English. أولاً كيف يتطهر المريض. First, how would a sick person purify himself? Number one, he says, now if there are questions, let's leave that for the end, inshallah. I'm going to try to put this together in one session, or if we can, then two sessions, inshallah. How would a sick person purify himself? He says, number one, يجب على المريض أن يتطهر بالماء. It is obligatory, it is a must upon the sick person to purify himself with water. فيتوضأ من الحدث الأصغر. So he would make wudu, he would purify himself from the minor ritual impurity or the minor moral impurity. This is when you don't have wudu. So you use the washroom or you lost your wudu, so then you purify yourself with water. وَيَغْتَسِلُ مِنَ الْحَدَثِ الْأَكْبَرِ. It is a must on the sick person also to bathe, to wash himself from the major moral impurity or the major ritual impurity. This is if someone ejaculated, right, had intercourse, so he has janaba, that state of sexual defilement, or if the woman, for instance, she's out of her menses, right, those if they are sick, the sick person, he must purify himself with water, and he must also wash himself, wash his all of his body if he or she has this major ritual impurity. Number two, فإن كان لا يستطيع الطهارة بالماء. So originally they must do it, but if they are unable to purify themselves with water, لعجزه, because they are unable, he or she, they are unable, incapable, أو خوف زيادة المرض, or they fear the increase of the sickness, that if they wash with the water for wudu or ghusl, then the sickness will increase. أو تأخر برئه, or the healing would be delayed. You could use it, but then it will take more time to heal. فإنه يتيمم. So if you cannot use the water because you are unable, or you fear the sickness will increase, or that the healing will be delayed, then فإنه يتيمم. Then you resort to tayammum, which is, we call it in English, we use the word dry ablution or dry purification, right? the water purification, the wudu. Tayammum is dry purification. Number 3, كيفية التيمم. How to do the tayammum, how to do the dry purification. He says أن يضرب الأرض الطاهرة بيديه ضربة واحدة. He should ضرب يضرب is to hit, but here you hit the ground, you place your 2 hands on the ground that is pure ground, الأرض الطاهرة, clean ground that doesn't have any filth, no najasa, no impurities in it. ضربة واحدة, one hit, one touch with both hands. يمسح بهما جميع وجهه. He would wipe with his 2 hands all of his face, and ثم يمسح كفيه بعضهما ببعض. Then he would wipe his 2 hands with each other, with each other, right? You would wipe your hands with each other. Now, if there is a lot of dust that got stuck on your hand, you don't have to keep all the dust there. You can remove some of it and then wipe your face and 2 hands. That's the tayammum. And the tayammum here, al-kaffain, that up to the wrists, right? The palms, and not up to the elbows, up to the wrists, right? I don't want to go side issues like details, discussions of fiqh. We don't want to do that. We just want to do what the Sheikh said, Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen said, rahimahullah. Number 4, فإن لم يستطع أن يتطهر بنفسه. Now, if he cannot purify himself on his own, فإنه يوضئه أو ييممه شخص آخر. Then another person, he will have the help of somebody else. Someone else, he will help him make wudu with water, or he will help him make the dry purification, right? Tayammum. Somebody else will help him to do that, right? So they will bring him the water, they will pour it on him, or they will help him, rub here, there, they will help him do that. They bring him the stuff for the tayammum, right? The dust or whatever, and they will help him out doing that. Number 5, فإن كان في بعض أعضاء الطهارة جرح. So if there was in some of the body parts of the purification, there is a wound. So for instance, your arm, you need to wash your arm in the wudu, but you have a wound in your arm or in your hand or on your face. You have a wound. He said, فإنه يغسله بالماء. Then he should wash it with the water. فإن كان الغسل بالماء أو الغسل بالماء فإن كان الغسل بالماء يؤثر عليه. If washing it with water would have an effect, would have an impact on it, right? We will get hurt. مسحه مسحا. He would wipe on it only. Instead of washing it with water, just with water, you wipe over it instead. فيبل يده بالماء ويمرها عليه. So he would wet his hand with water, and then he will pass it on top of that body part that has the wound, on the wound part. The other part, he will wash it. But that area that has the wound, he will just wet his hand and wipe over it. فإن كان المسح يؤثر عليه أيضا. So if wiping over it also will have an effect, bad effect on it also, فإنه يتيمم عنه. So then he will make the dry ablution for it, for that body part instead. Right? Now, does he wash the other parts and do tayammum for this one? That's one position. Or he will just make tayammum then, since that part he cannot do tayammum another. But anyhow, this is what he says here. So you make tayammum in place of washing that body part that will get affected by washing or wiping with water. Number 6, إذا كان في بعض أعضائه كسر مشدود عليه خرقة أو جبس. If in some of his body parts there is on it, it has a break, كسر, is broken. مشدود عليه خرقة أو جبس. He has like a cloth wrapped around it, gauze or whatever, or gyps, a cast. Now they have a cast. Gyps is the white stuff that they use. So anyways, they mean the cast. فإنه يمسح عليه بالماء بدلا من غسله. So then he will wipe over it with water instead of washing it. He says, ولا يحتاج للتيمم, and he does not need to perform تيمم لأن المسح بدل عن الغسل. That is because wiping is a replacement, compensation for washing. Right? So you wipe over the cast if you have a cast or something wrapped around it. Number 7, يجوز أن يتيمم على الجدار. It is allowed to perform tayammum, the dry purification, on the wall, الجدار, أو على شيء آخر طاهر له غبار, or on another thing that is pure, that has dust. فإن كان الجدار ممسوحا بشيء من غير جنس الأرض كالبوية. He said, so if the wall is wiped with something that is other than the same type of materials from the earth, like boya, like the paint, right? Like the paint. فلا يتيمم عليه. Then he wouldn't make the dry purification on it. إلا أن يكون له غبار, except if it has dust on it. Right? So if the wall is made from earth material, like they make of clay and like that, the old, type of building, or it has dust on it, even if it is painted, but it has dust on it. Right? Then it is okay. Like in the hospitals now, they wipe clean, right? So you need to bring something, like he will say. And now this is one position, that what you wipe on has to have dust on it, right? The other position, which is held by many scholars, is that whatever you use for tayammum, it should be from the earth, original from the earth, whether it has dust or it doesn't. Now that is a discussion in fiqh. I don't want to go through that. But if you've seen, some people, they will bring like a rock. They will bring from the beaches, right? Because it's original rock, not the rocks that are, cooked and made, bricks that are made, right? It's original from the earth, right? That one, they will use it for tayammum. Whether it has dust or it doesn't. I mean, if it has dust so that you are outside of the discussion, then alhamdulillah. But if you go outside, for instance, you put your hand on the floor, it has dust. The grass, it has dust, right? So anything that has dust on it, it will be okay. Or something original from the earth, as according to that other position, inshallah. Number 8, إذا لم يمكن التيمم على الأرض أو الجدار أو شيء آخر له غبار. If it is not possible to perform tayammum, dry purification, on the ground, on the earth, or on the wall, or anything else that has dust, فلا بأس أن يوضع تراب في إناء أو منديل يتيمم منه. Then there is no harm that you place some dust, some soil or some dust, dirt, right, in a vessel, right, container, or mindil, or in a handkerchief or in a napkin, يتيمم منه. He will use it to perform tayammum on it. So those who are sick, for instance, in the hospital, and the hospital is wiped clean, and they bring something, maybe a little container that has some dust, or according to the other position, as I mentioned to you, just a piece of rock that is original, not like the rocks that are made, bricks and like that, but original from the original earth, then you use it. He said, إذا تيمم لصلاة وبقي على طهارته إلى وقت الصلاة الأخرى. If he made dry purification for a prayer and he remained having purification to the time of the next prayer, so he did not pass wind, he did not lose his wudu, he did not go to the washroom, he made wudu in tayammum, tayammum, dry purification, he prayed and he remained till the next salah, فإنه يصليها بالتيمم الأول. So then he would pray it with the first tayammum, the dry purification. ولا يعيد التيمم للصلاة الثانية. He does not repeat his tayammum for the second prayer. لأنه لم يزل على طهارته, because he continued to be upon his purification. ولم يوجد ما يبطلها أو ولم يجد ما يبطلها, and there was nothing that invalidated it. Nothing new happened. يجد, يوجد here, but they have يجد in the other copy. يجد, nothing. يوجد exists. يجد is when something becomes جديد, right? So nothing new happened to invalidate his purification. This is a subject of discussion also in fiqh. If you use the dry purification, tayammum, is it enough only for one prayer and the sunan before it and after it? Or as long as you didn't lose your purification, then you can use it for the next prayer and the next prayer? A discussion between the scholars. The Sheikh's choice is that if you did not lose purification, you're still on. So if you prayed Dhuhr with tayammum and did not lose it until Asr time came, pray Asr too. And if you did not lose it until Maghrib came, you can pray Maghrib too. You don't have to renew your tayammum according to the position that the Sheikh took. Number 10, يجب على المريض أن يطهر بدنه من النجاسات. It is a must upon the sick person to purify his body from the najasat, the impurities, urine, feces. He has to clean himself from these. فإن كان لا يستطيع. If he is unable, صلى على حاله. He will pray according to his condition. وصلاته صحيحة ولا إعادة عليه. His prayer is valid, is sound. There is no repetition on him. Even later on when he cleans himself, he is able to clean himself, or somebody came and helped him clean himself. He doesn't have to repeat the prayers that he prayed when he was not able to remove the impurities. This is an important point, because I have seen a number of people. They say, oh, my pant has... I was walking, aside from the sickness, I was walking in the street and a dog came and he licked me. So now they leave the salah till they go back home. Dhuhr, Asr, you don't do that. You don't miss the salah because of this. You find a solution for yourself. And in this case, the sick person, he cannot purify himself. In the end, he prays in the condition he is upon. He does not miss the salah. You don't say until my son or my daughter comes and then they will help me clean and they can change my, and I will miss Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha, and then whenever they come, they pray on time according to their condition. Number 11 يجب على المريض أن يصلي بثياب طاهرة. It is a must also on the sick person to pray with pure clothes, clothes that don't have najasa, like I said, urine, feces, whatever. Now there is a sentence that is dropped here, right? فإن تنجست ثيابه وجب غسلها أو إبدالها بثياب طاهرة. So if his clothes got impurities, they have najasa on them, got impurities on them, it is a must to wash them or to change them with clean clothes that are pure. We don't have it here. It's not written here. Okay. MashaAllah, we didn't know number 11. Yeah, yes, you're right. So let's go back. يجب على المريض أن يصلي بثياب طاهرة. فإن لم يمكن صلى على حاله وصلاته. طيب, that's what we are doing, right? يجب على المريض أن يصلي. Okay. I just went to this one. All right, let me fix it. Yeah. I was doing the. Okay. So what is missing is right here, actually, on number 11. Here. So he said, يجب على المريض أن يصلي بثياب طاهرة. It is a must on the sick person to pray in pure clothes. فإن تنجست, this is the piece that is missing here, right here. فإن تنجست ثيابه وجب غسلها أو إبدالها بثياب طاهرة. So if his clothes got dirtied with impurities, then he must wash them, or the sick person must exchange them. فإن لم يمكن صلى على حاله. So if it is not possible to do that, wash or change the clothes, he prays according to his condition. وصلاته صحيحة ولا إعادة عليه. And his prayer is valid and there is no repetition for him. So later on, the daughter came, the wife came, the husband came and helped change, and you don't have to repeat subh and dhuhr and asr up until, whatever you prayed with those clothes. You're okay because you did what you can at that time. Now there is a discussion on this, but this is the choice of the sheikh. Number 12, يجب على المريض أن يصلي على شيء طاهر. It is a must upon the sick person to pray on something that is pure. What you pray on must be pure. Doesn't have impurities, feces, urine, like that. فإن تنجس مكانه وجب غسله. If his spot, the place, has najasa on it, impurity, he must wash it. أو إبداله بشيء طاهر. Or he must change it with something that is clean. Right? أو يفرش عليه شيئا طاهرا. Or he should spread on it something that is pure. So you are on the bed and the bed has urine on it. So you have to change that thing that has the urine on it. If you can't, what do you do if you don't change it? You put something else on it. You put a tarp on it. You put another clean sheet on it, and you pray on that. Right? So you are praying on something that is clean. فإن لم يمكن, if it is not possible to change it, then he prays according to his condition. وصلاته صحيحة ولا إعادة عليه. And his prayer is valid and there is no repetition. So he does not have to repeat later on after they clean the spot. Number 13, لا يجوز للمريض أن يؤخر الصلاة عن وقتها من أجل العجز عن الطهارة. This is important. It is not allowed for the sick person to delay the prayer from its appointed time because of or due to, من أجل, due to العجز, inability, because one is unable to purify himself. بل يتطهر بقدر ما يمكنه. Rather he should purify himself according to his ability. ثم يصلي الصلاة في وقتها. Then he prays the prayer on its time. ولو كان على بدنه وثوبه أو مكانه نجاسة يعجز عنها. Even if he has on his body or on his clothes or on his place, the spot he's praying on, if there is on them an impurity that he is unable to change it, unable to clean it or change it or replace it, right? He's emphasizing the same point. Now that's the purification. ثانيا, number two, secondly, inshallah, I hope we'll be able to finish it in one session. So it could be used in one shot. You know, someone will watch it and watch both at the same time. How he would pray. Number one, يجب على المريض أن يصلي الفريضة قائما ولو منحنيا. It is a must on the sick person to pray the obligatory prayer standing, even if he is bending or tilting, منحنيا, right? You can't stand up straight, but you can, tilt. Then you need to tilt and pray standing. أو معتمدا على جدار, or depending on a wall. You can stand and lean on the wall. If you lean on the wall, you can stand. So use the wall. أو عصا, or you can use a stick to stand. You must stand then. If you can pray standing using a stick, you must use the stick. أو عصا يحتاج إلى الاعتماد عليه, or a stick that a cane or something that he would need to depend on. So if you are able to stand, you must stand. Even if you have to tilt a little bit, depending on this side or the other side, or you lean on a wall, or you stand on a stick like that. Number two, فإن كان لا يستطيع القيام صلى جالسا. If he is unable to stand, even with depending on something, he can't. He prays sitting. والأفضل أن يكون متربعا في موضع القيام والركوع. And the best is for him to be sitting متربعا, يعني sitting on the ground, sitting on the floor, crisscrossing his legs, like our brother here is sitting. That is tarabba. That is what is called tarabba, right? You sit on the floor, the behind is on the floor, your right and your left crisscrossing like that. Right? That's the best. In the position of standing and in the position of ruku'. So you are sitting on the floor, crisscrossing, right? And Allahu Akbar, تحية دعاء الافتتاح, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك, سورة الفاتحة, قل هو الله أحد. Then Allahu Akbar, you go to ruku' while you are sitting, right? You go to ruku', you bend for the ruku', right? So while standing and the time when you make ruku', you do it while you are sitting on the floor and crisscrossing your legs. Number three, فإن كان لا, the rest of the salah, what he does for the sujood, he will go down to sujood if he can, right? Sitting between the two sajdas, he will sit like we normally sit, and again the second sajda the same way, and the tashahhud he will sit like we sit in the tashahhud, right? If he can do that. فإن كان لا يستطيع, number three, فإن كان لا يستطيع الصلاة جالسا. So if he cannot, the Sheikh is saying this is better than what? Better than the chair. Better than the chair to sit on the floor. طيب. Number three, فإن كان لا يستطيع الصلاة جالسا. So if he cannot pray sitting, صلى على جنبه متوجها إلى القبلة. He will pray on his side, directing himself towards the Qibla, the direction of the Kaaba. والجنب الأيمن أفضل, and the right side is better. So you go on your right side, you lay down on your right side, face the Qibla. That's how you pray if you cannot sit. فإن لم يتمكن من التوجه إلى القبلة صلى حيث كان اتجاهه. if he cannot direct himself towards the Qibla, towards the direction of the Kaaba, then he prays wherever his direction is. وصلاته صحيح ولا إعادة عليه. His prayer is valid, there is no repetition, he doesn't have to repeat. When he is able, he doesn't have to repeat. Salah is done. Number 4, فإن كان لا يستطيع الصلاة على جنبه. Now if he cannot pray laying on his side, right or left, the right one is better. He cannot do the right, he do the left. Now he cannot do on the side, not the right, not the left. صلى مستلقيا. He prays laying on his back. مستلقيا يعني on his back. رجلاه إلى القبلة. His 2 feet towards the Qibla. والأفضل أن يرفع رأسه قليلا ليتجه إلى القبلة. And it is best that he would raise his head a bit so that he will direct himself to the Qibla. Now this in the hospitals you can do with those nice beds where with the push button you can raise the back, you raise the front, you turn it this way, you turn it that way, right? So he says your feet towards you are facing the feet towards the Qibla. That means your face is towards the Qibla. Now you can raise up the back of the bed so your face is facing the Qibla if you can, right? He said it is best to raise his head so he will be facing the Qibla with his head. فإن لم يستطع أن تكون رجلاه إلى القبلة صلى حيث كانت. So if he is unable that his 2 feet will be towards the Qibla, he will pray wherever they are, wherever his feet are. ولا إعادة عليه. He does not have to repeat. يعني later on he gets better, he can do it. He doesn't have now to repeat the previous prayers. No, he did what he can while he was doing it, so the salah is valid. He doesn't have to repeat it. Number 5. يجب على المريض أن يركع ويسجد في صلاته. It is a must upon the sick person to perform ruku', bowing, and to perform sujood, prostration, in his prayer. فإن لم يستطع أومأ بهما برأسه. So if he cannot perform ruku', he cannot perform sujood. أومأ بهما. He would hint, he would sign to them, he would tilt with his head, right, towards them, as if he is performing ruku' or sujood. ويجعل السجود أخفض من الركوع. And he would make the prostration sujood lower than the ruku', than the bowing. So the ruku' he will go like this, the sujood he will go down even more, right? فإن استطاع الركوع دون السجود. So if he is able to perform ruku' and not the sujood, he can do the bowing but not the prostration. ركع حال الركوع. He will bow down during the ruku', the bowing. وأومأ بالسجود. And he will hint, he will tilt his head towards the sujood. So he can do the full ruku', he will do it, but he cannot do the sujood on the, so he will tilt towards the sujood. وإن استطاع السجود دون الركوع سجد حال السجود وأومأ بالركوع. And if he is able to prostrate sujood and not the ruku', bowing, then he will prostrate during the condition, when the situation of sujood, he will prostrate for the sujood, the prostration, and he would أومأ, he would tilt or sign with his head, right, for the ruku', for the bowing. Now some people, they will have, I've seen this a lot when they are praying on the chair, they have their hands hanging in the air, right? This, I haven't seen any scholar who said to do this. Your hands are on your thighs. Your hands should be on your thighs, even if you're sitting on the chair. You don't go for ruku' like this. You sign, with your head and your hands in the air. And then in the sujood, again, your hands are hanging in the air. There is no such a thing. Your hands are on your thighs. You go like this for ruku', a little bit for ruku', and more for you tilt more for the sujood. Your hands are on your thighs. Number 6, فإن كان لا يستطيع الإيماء برأسه في الركوع والسجود أشار بعينيه. So if he cannot sign and tilt with his head to the bowing and to the prostration, ركوع and sujood, أشار بعينيه. He will sign, he will hint to them with what? With his two eyes. فيغمض قليلا للركوع. يغمض أو يغمض. يغمض, he closes his eyes a little bit for ركوع, for bowing. ويغمض تغميضا أكثر للسجود, and he would close his eyes, his eyelids, even more for the prostration, hinting to ركوع and سجود. وأما الإشارة بالإصبع كما يفعله بعض المرضى فليس بصحيح. As for the pointing with the finger, now he cannot move. What do they do with the finger? Right? They point like this for the ruku', like that for the sujood. As for this pointing with the finger, hinting to the signing to ruku' and sujood, as some of the sick people do, فليس بصحيح, is incorrect. ولا أعلم له أصلا من الكتاب والسنة ولا من أقوال أهل العلم. I do not know a foundation for this, يعني a proof for this, from the book nor the sunnah, and not even from the statements of the people of the knowledge. Even the people of knowledge, they don't say to use your finger. Number 7, the Shaykh, he doesn't know any basis for this. Not Quran, not Sunnah, and not the statements of the scholars. Number 7, فإن كان لا يستطيع الإيماء بالرأس ولا الإشارة بالعين. So if he is unable to sign, to hint with the head, nor to sign or point with the eyes, with the eye, right? He cannot move his head, he cannot even do with his eye. صلى بقلبه. He's still conscious, يعني, but he cannot move. Even his eyes cannot, he cannot control that. He prays with his heart. صلى بقلبه. He prays with his heart. فيكبر, he says الله أكبر. ويقرأ, he recites. وينوي الركوع والسجود والقيام والقعود بقلبه. And he intends to bow, to prostrate, to stand, and to sit with his heart. ولكل امرئ ما نوى. And every individual shall get what he intended. That's all he can do, just intention. He will intend and he will get that. He will achieve what he intended because he is not able. Number 8, يجب على المريض أن يصلي كل صلاة في وقتها. It is a must on the sick person to pray every prayer on its time. يفعل كل ما يقدر عليه مما يجب فيها. And he must do whatever he is able to do of that which is compulsory in it. Everything that is a must, you have to do it. Whether it's a rukn, a pillar, or it is an obligation, wajib, you must do it. فإن شق عليه فعل كل صلاة في وقتها. If it is difficult for him, it's hard for him to do every prayer in its time, فله الجمع بين الظهر والعصر. So he can combine between ظهر and عصر. وبين المغرب والعشاء. And he can combine between maghrib and isha. إما جمع تقديم. Either a combining that is forwarded or done in the time of the first prayer. بحيث يقدم العصر إلى الظهر. In a way that he will bring عصر forward, right, to the timing of ظهر. He will make it before its time. He will bring it يعني back. يعني he will pray it earlier. يقدمها, يقدم. He will forward it. يعني he prays ظهر in the time of ظهر. Then he prays عصر when? In the time of ظهر. That's what is called taqdeem. You brought the timing of عصر to the timing of ظهر. You made it earlier. والعشاء إلى المغرب. Also you can combine between Maghrib and Isha the same way. You bring Isha, you bring it earlier, you pray it with Maghrib. You pray Maghrib, 3 rakat, then right after Maghrib you pray Isha. That's called Jam'u Taqdeem. When you have the later prayer brought earlier in the time of the first one. وإما جمع تأخير, or either it is a combination of delaying تأخير, بحيث in a way يؤخر الظهر إلى العصر. He would delay الظهر to the time of Asr. So he wouldn't pray at the Dhuhr time. He will wait until Asr time comes in. Then he prays Dhuhr and Asr. That's why it's called delayed. والمغرب إلى العشاء. Likewise, Maghrib, he will delay it to the time of Isha. حسب ما يكون أيسر له. According to what is easier for him, what is more facilitated for him. وأما الفجر فلا تجمع لما قبله ولا لما بعدها. As for Salat al-Fajr, the morning prayer, you cannot combine it. It's not to be combined for what is before it nor what is after it. The timings that the Salah could be combined is only Dhuhr or Asr, Dhuhr and Asr, in the time of either Dhuhr or in the time of Asr. So Dhuhr now is like 1:15 almost, and Asr ends by Maghrib, right? Maghrib today is like 8:32. So you have from 1:15, between 1:15 and 8:32, you can pray Dhuhr and Asr in between that. Of course, you don't delay it to the last minute. But if you prayed at 4, you're okay. This is now before the time of Asr. You prayed it with Dhuhr. If you prayed at 6 or 7, you prayed it with Dhuhr, you prayed it at the time of Asr. So it's okay to do that. So only Dhuhr and Asr are combined, or Maghrib and Isha are combined, either in the time of Maghrib or the time of Isha. But Fajr, there is no combining, right? And you cannot also combine Asr and Maghrib, right? You cannot do that. It's only Dhuhr and Asr, they share the time. Maghrib and Isha can share the time. That's it. Number 9, وإذا كان المريض, this is the last point, إذا كان المريض مسافرا يعالج في غير بلده. If the sick person is a traveler who is being treated for his sickness in other than his land, his homeland, his country, فإنه يقصر الصلاة الرباعية. يقصر or يقصر, both of them are correct. Then he would shorten the prayer that has 4 units. فيصلي الظهر والعصر والعشاء. What are the prayers that have 4 units? He prays Dhuhr and Asr and Isha. He prays them what? على ركعتين ركعتين. 2 units, only 2 units. So at the time of Dhuhr, because he's a traveler, he would pray 2 for Dhuhr. At the time of Asr, he will pray 2. Why? He's a traveler. Time of Isha, he will pray 2. Fajr and Maghrib, there is no shortening for the traveler. Only Dhuhr and Asr and Isha, the 4 units. Prayer can be shortened into 2. And if you shorten and combine, if you are a traveler and you combine, you are sick, then you pray 2 for Dhuhr and then 2 for Asr in the time of Dhuhr, or 2 for Dhuhr, 2 for Asr in the time of Asr. Likewise, Maghrib, you pray Maghrib 3, and if you're praying Isha in the time of Maghrib, then you pray 2 for Isha. Or later on, you pray Maghrib and Isha in the time of Isha, 3 for Maghrib, then 2 for the Isha. He says, حتى يرجع إلى بلده, up until he goes back to his home. This traveler who is sick, being treated outside of his country, he will be a traveler, so he combines, he shortens his 4-unit prayer into 2 up until he goes back home. سواء طالت مدة سفره أم قصرت. Whether the length of the period of his travel was long or it was short. And of course, here there is a discussion, right, between the scholars. The choice of the Sheikh here is whether he traveled for a long time or he traveled for short time. As long as everybody is saying, where is he? Oh, he's outside of the country. He's a traveler. He's musafir. As long as he's deemed to be considered musafir, then he's musafir, and he shortens his prayer until he goes back home. We stop here, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, we were able to finish it. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakum Allahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.